So I think it's time, as we're moving into a world government, that we all acknowledge that the President of the United States really has no power, and he's just a puppet, as evidenced by, our current President, Joe Biden. They cut his microphone off when they don't want him to talk. And he says things like, well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. And the first reporter I was told to talk to is you. And then now we know, when Donald Trump was president, the military was making sure that, for example, if we decided to attack China militarily, we would let them know. So they have a heads up, so they know that we're coming. Now, apparently, that's okay, because you know it, I know it, everyone knows it. Nothing is going to happen to Miley for doing that. Nothing. They're not going to do anything. I'd be willing to bet money that they will not do anything. Other than some people will bitch about it on television, nothing will be done. And we also now know that he told his subordinates to disobey any orders from above him from the president about our nuclear arsenal. So, what is the point of having a president? I think we should just go ahead as we move into a regionalized world government. People like Mark Miley can just be like the regional capos, in our district within the world governmental structure. And people like Klaus Schwab can tell him what to do. And think of all the money and effort we could save not having presidential campaigns anymore and not having to deal with elections, We wouldn't have to print all these mail-in ballots. That would save paper. I mean, paper spreads disease and coronavirus anyway, right? That's why we've got to get rid of money. We're getting rid of money, getting rid of cash. Everything can be digitally tracked. And this is going to help us get to the Great Reset. And the Great Reset will help us because if you no longer have private property or money, then you can't be a threat to the global power structure that's going to protect us from ourselves because they're so much wiser than us. So good job, Mark Miley. Good job. You're helping get us to the utopian global government even faster by proving to Americans that having a national government and sovereignty and thinking you're going to vote for a leader is silly and antiquated. Mark Milley's a very forward-thinking individual. Perhaps he can be our regional dictator in the New World Government. Not the New World Order that they talk about in the conspiracy. This is a different world government. Like when all the politicians in Australia talk about the New World Order and contact tracing, it's a completely different world government from the one that the conspiracy theorists talk about, where the conspiracy theorists say, oh, there's going to be a government that tracks everyone with electronics and creates a technocratic dictatorship using fear to control us. That is completely different from the one that I'm talking about, the one where you have a military coup that undermines the supposedly elected leaders of the country. Completely different world government. And this one's going to be great. It's going to be totally rad because you won't have to worry about owning property or what you're going to have to eat or like, do I want a steak or do I want a pork loin? No, you'll get one piece of meat per year and it could be on your birthday. That's if you don't say anything wrong on the internet. But don't worry about that because you'll have to have an internet ID. So you'll be much less likely to say what you really think when you know that your multi-pass points are riding on the shit that you say. So hooray for world government and hooray for General Miley. Because without him, we might have actually had the person we elected be in charge. And we wouldn't want that shit, would we?